Welcome back to Hooked on Rust and the Datsun 1200 build.
If it's rusty, we're into it!
We're back. We're in the shed and it's 10 a.m. We're going to make the front of this thing go up and down. I'm excited. Since it is daytime and I can speak with some enthusiasm, maybe we'll do a bit of an intro of what we're doing in this video. I've got some clips. We're getting the rear firewall, rear window done. We've made some pretty decent progress on that. A gearbox tunnel. We've obviously picked up some airbags, which is super exciting. We've got a whole airlift 3P kit, front and rear bags, compressor tank, the lot of it. I've started working on the front where we need to make up some custom caster arms, shorten LCAs. We're going S13 set up in the front. Already I know we're gonna have to do some more modifications to the strut towers, but we're pretty close. I just gotta get some more camber into it. We're almost there. The wheels are almost fitting. All this has now been obtained. S13, front and rear bag struts, tank, compressor, airlift performance 3P management system, all popped up for $3 grand. Shout out to my dad. He went up to Nowra for me and picked it up. And then I went and got it off him. Now I guess we've got to start playing with this stuff and try and make this ute again, a roller again for the first time in like 4 or 5 years. I've also got S13 front knuckles, 4-stud, front brakes, front lower control arms, full of spider eggs and spider webs because they've been sitting around for that long. I've got some new ball joints. We've been fiddling with that window and I didn't record much because it was a pain in the ass. I just wanted to get it done, but now it's time to put our math hat on and try and figure this out. I have no idea about any of this. I've never played with airbags before, not once. There's no point yapping, let's just start spinning spanners and try to put stuff together. I've dug through the car trailer looking at all my spares that I have for the drift car. We have lots of these like adjustable arms and stuff like that. Because what I need to do now is when the S13 arm is in here, I need to make a caster arm fit. The stock one, like a lot of old school cars, has just a straight through bolt and that's your caster adjustment. I don't really think that's going to work because this arm is going to get some pretty big angles all the time when we're using the airbags. So I was thinking it would be good to have a point that pivots this way rather than stretching the rubbers as it goes through that hole. So I'm going to put this in the factory sort of hole in there, and then we can get some kind of heim joint and that will pivot with the lower control arm super easily and not bind up on anything. We're going to use these old S13 caster arms. So to make these work at the right length, I'm cutting down some stock R33 ones, machining down this so it can slide into here, then I'll weld it on. As these existing ones were, you could loosen the nuts and you could adjust the length of it while it was all in the car. I haven't tried to repeat that because I need these to be a lot shorter and it's a reverse thread and I can't cut a reverse thread here. So I'm gonna have to make do with having the single adjustment, undo it, adjust it, put it back together. And then also I was cutting up the R33 ones to use because one of these was actually bent pretty badly. Surely you can see that. So this one's bent to shit. I just cut another 33 one up, but this bad boy's 22 mil. I need to turn it down to 17, 16 mil. This one's 18 mil, it's a lot closer. So I'm actually gonna cut this one down. Be easier to get some metal off here and then weld it back in. Also I could cut a bit out of this and butt weld it, but I'd rather grind a bit of the metal down, fit it inside that adjusting nut, and then it's got some support, not just a weld. So I'd rather do that. It's going to be a lot stronger. If you're a machinist, turn away now. Oh, it's still really friggin' hot. There we have it. 2 caster arms. These are the S13 LCAs. I've taken 50 mil out of them, but they still line up and fit pretty good. I'll probably box them in as well. I just had to go to Super Cheap Auto to buy a tool that I'll probably only ever use this one time. Ball joint remover and press. I do have a press which I was going to go to work and use, but that's an hour round trip. Super Cheap's just down the road. So we're going to press in new ball joints to them bad boys. I haven't final welded them because we just want to make sure it's actually going to work at this length. That's the same length as a stock Datsun late model LCA. We've dummy fitted the other side. We're getting a bit of camber, but we need just a bit more to tuck in under them guards. Plus we can roll the guards, but a bit more, just a little bit. First time I've ever used one of these bad boys. What do you know? Should be hard to move when your ball joints are good. Not all loosey-goosey, floppy-woppy. Let's see what we got in here. Oh, that's a heavy-duty looking bastard. I have no idea what I'm doing. I might have to watch a bloody YouTube video, mate. Alright, we're ready for a test fit on this side. First time with the S13 LCA, first time bolting the caster arms up and everything. That's all sitting in there. Yes, I'm aware I put the wrong side knuckle on. That's fine. Shouldn't really matter for just this test fit. It's all coming apart again and again and again. Let's jack it up and see what happens. I hope my shitty tack welds are enough to just get this to test. What I'm paying attention on is the angle of the ball joint in here and this heim joint. I want to make sure nothing's binding as it moves. I'm picking the whole car up. She's too light. Why are we picking the whole car up? This is something I was concerned about and why I didn't do any final welding. As we're moving up, this ball joint is getting a pretty serious angle on it. I don't think we're at the point of binding yet, but we still got a long way up to go. So what I'm going to have to do is cut this on a bit of an angle here, I guess, and take this bend out of the lower control arm, bring it more flat to get some of that angle out of that ball joint. All right, we've changed the angle of that ball joint and now we're back in. Let's try again. The angle of the ball joint is beautiful. Looks all right. Where's the wheel? The wheel's hitting on something. Bit of clearancing needed. Oh yeah. Just one wheel nut. Let's jack it up. All right, we're in. With the strut in. It's pretty good. We've got another ½ an inch to get it down. The friggin' big question, does the guard fit? No, it doesn't. I mean, I got 15 mil of a guard I can roll. See how much lift we get out of it. Not a lot. As much as a success as this is, it's not perfect. We don't really have as much camber as I was expecting. The bag's already touching the strut, so I'm gonna have to clearance it and make pockets if I want to run more camber. I got a lot of cutting to do under here and shaping and stuff like that. I think I'm going to move on to that right now. We'll also get the other side done and finished, ready for mock-up. All right, turns out you just couldn't hear me. We got the airbag compressor going. It's clicking away right there. We've been busy welding and grinding in the engine bay. We've got the LCA shortened, welded up. We've got the caster arms in, both the brackets in. We had to modify heaps of shit to get it to fit. We've got both sides in now, so we're gonna see if they friggin' work, man. Hell, this is crazy. I'm not really ready for this. Where'd my rattle gun go? I'm scared. I'm scared. You're Clarence Claymore. I'm Clarence Claymore. I'm Clarence Claymore. I'm going to press the button. Nothing happened. Oh, oh no. Don't do that. Whoa! Oh my god. Oh my god. Is that as hard as it goes? How much pressure are you meant to put in these things? I'm Clarence Claymore. We need to go lower. That's pretty cool, dude. And up. And back down. Not low enough. What we're going to start working on is this back window and all the sheet metal. We got to fill all this in, obviously. No point going back to a stock window. So we're going to try and get a Toyota Surf window to fit. As you can see, we're not too far off a fit. So basically just need to figure out where I want this thing to sit. It's pretty small, so it'd be good if we could sit back a bit. But this arch along the top is actually pretty close to fitting already. I'll cut this out roughly, get the tailgate in here, and make sure what kind of angle it actually needs to sit on. So this is all more Datsun metal going in the bin, more rust. I'm gonna have to cut all of this away. I'd love to get, they still made these things like 2004 in South Africa. And the newer ones came with single piece glass, so you don't have that little fold in and out quarter glass. I'd love to find some of them and put them in. That'd be so good. Windows open, back window down, breeze through your hair. Doesn't get much bloody better. Dude, this thing, whew, it weighs more than 2 Datsun doors. It's that freaking heavy. We're good enough for a bit of a testing stage, I think. It looks humongous just sitting there. The glass kind of is lining up with the top pretty good. It's about the same depth as a factory window. The window's actually a lot wider than I was expecting. I knew the tailgate was wide, but for some reason I thought it tapered out a lot more than what it does, because obviously we've only got half, if that, of the window coming in and out. I don't know if you can see, but the window kind of ends here, whereas the factory one ended back in here. So we're a couple inches wider. It does fit inside of here, so it's not that big of an issue. It just means we have to cut all of this out and remake a bit of structure. I'm having doubts. Alright, I was definitely freaking out, but I've been messing with like the trim piece. It's obviously still way too tall, sitting on top of here and above the roof. But already I think it looks way better. I'll get this fitting in, and then I'll get the tailgate back in here and keep fiddling with that. Just quickly show you the mess I'm dealing with. Oh, this has to be filled in again, obviously. I've got a little plate in between these two bits of metal. Oh, where's my finger? In between these two bits. Because to have the trim sitting flush against here, I need to have the window inset. So I'll need to screw the window frame all up in there and around there. Spent a good hour on the welder. I've only done a bit like across the top there, bridging that gap I was talking about. But yeah, that all lines up. That's pretty much where it's going to sit. All this work just so the glass has something to slide inside of. The fit is pretty flush along here, but there's a bit of a gap right in this corner, and then it gets flush again. Honestly, I think I'm just gonna leave it. Put a bit of rubber behind it, because you can hardly tell when it's tucked in behind this. And we may also be doing a bit of a wing off the roof. That is one step closer. Welding upside down and grinding and whatnot. Pain in my butt. Show ya. This is just sitting in there. There's little holes across the top here that'll screw onto that bit that I just welded in there. So that's the positioning finalised. Everything's just sort of tacked in. That plastic trim fits really good. I don't have the rubber in there yet, but that's where the tailgate's going to be. I'm a bit upset we had to push it inboard so far, but otherwise it just wasn't going to look right. So that's pretty much it. Sitting on top of the tunnel. I obviously still need to cut out this brace and brace around it to make it strong for when the tail shaft comes through. But yeah. Show me your bubbles, man. Yeah, close. Show me your bubbles.